Hello everyone, P from 41 here. So we're here in the corner with my air compressor, and I wanted to share with you my homemade cable operated drain valve. Now a while back I started using these drain valves. Now these are meant for tractor trailers. The idea is that they thread up into the bottom of the air tank, so when you're pulling on the cord you pull from the side, and that unseats the seal in there and lets the tanks drain. Very convenient. The problem I had is that after a while they'd start to clog up and they'd get very hard to pull. So it was really hard to get the tank to drain, and then half the time they would keep leaking afterwards, and they didn't really let out enough air and water for my liking, because I get a ton of condensation buildup in this tank due to the humidity here in Florida. So I decided to make a solution that would work better for my needs, and this is what I came up with. So coming out of the compressor tank, we have a T, and then we have a ball valve, and we have just a pipe that goes out that ways and then just dead ends into a cap. Now the reason we have the pipe with the cap is actually very simple. I do this on pretty much all my compressors. Now if you have your drain valve in the bottom of the compressor tank, then any moisture that builds up between drainings is going to sit in the bottom of this tank and accelerate rust, which is no good. So I put this little T here with a bit of extra pipe so that in between drainings, any moisture that accumulates will sit in this pipe instead of sitting in the bottom of the tank, thereby helping to preserve the tank for a little longer. Now on the other end, I've got this 1/8 inch ball valve. It's a 1/4 inch ball valve. This is just a standard ball valve you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot. And I've welded a piece of metal onto it to extend the handle further, which makes it easier to pull. Now on the back here, I just have a throttle return spring from a Ford Escape, and it's anchored to this pipe with a hose clamp, and that's just to ensure that the ball valve returns to closed. And then my cable is simply zip tied to the end of this lever as well. So when you pull it, it opens the ball valve, dumping air and water out, and when you release it, the spring returns it closed, like so. Now, I don't know if this is showing up on camera, but the one main downside with this is that it's extremely loud. Like, I'm wearing earmuffs right now, and I absolutely have to have earmuffs on because this is deafeningly loud. But you can see it just dumps a ton of air and water, and I'm sure a bunch of people are going to say that I haven't been draining my compressor tank enough. I've drained it a number of times right before this video. This is literally how much condensation it's building up on a regular basis. So we'll show you again. And the other nice thing about this system is I can dump a little, or I can just dump a ton, depending on how I'm feeling. Now from the top here, usually I reuse the cable from the old drain valve because I had it. Usually I just dangle it here, and so when I go to pull the cable, it just drains like that. So I hope you found this useful, or at least interesting. If you've got any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below.